So what's going on, guys? DIY Dan. This is an episode of Backroads Arizona, just doing some more upgrades to my Razor. This is a 2020 Velocity Turbo, and we installed the lower door panel inserts. Now this is the factory half door, and we just installed the bottom panel. Wanted something, we took it out a couple times, and especially with the wide suspension, we had rocks flinging in between the door and hitting us in the legs, getting up towards my face. And then in the back, my daughters were noticing a lot of dust going right up through this and dusting them out. So that's why we went and bought these. Now these panels were like less than 150 bucks. Full doors are a lot more expensive. So these were UTV giant door panel inserts, and they took less than 10 minutes per door to install. The fitment was pretty good. The only thing I have noticed more on the back doors than the front is, if you notice, when I close, you get that little bit of flex. Now I am worried about this too, and I might have to put some little rubbers on, but I want to take it out and drive it on a trail and see how it does. So I got a little bit of concern about that. Front door also, but the front door is a lot sturdier as far as when you close it. The back door does seem a little flimsy when you slam it shut. So let's get to it. So the instruction sheet was pretty vague, but you don't really need it anyways. It is not a difficult install. Hardware and paneling seemed pretty stout. So we're going to loosen this bolt, take it all the way out. In your hardware, there will be push-in clips that snap into place right here. Then we're going to take this bolt loose right here. So I installed the factory bolt by the door latch first. Seemed to work better that way, and tightened it down a little bit before starting the other bolts. I then put the center bolt in and the factory bolt back in by the door hinge. Okay, now what we're going to do is close the door and check our adjustment. So the panels themselves have a little bit of adjustment, so you can kind of adjust that as best you can and tighten those down. I leave the door closed, so that way you can kind of put it where you want it and tighten it down. Then I went ahead and tightened down the center bolt. So I was rubbing a little bit right here, so I'm going to back the whole door up using the door hinges. In order to adjust the entire door, you have to loosen the 4 Torx bits. They are a T40. So then close your door, put the adjustment where you like it, and then tighten 2 of the 4 Torx bits back up. Then you can open your door back up and tighten the other 2 to make it easier. Since I have aftermarket seats and it's a little bit more of a pain to take them out because the harnesses go through the seat, I used a wrench and a Torx bit on the bottom hinge to tighten it down so it would not lose my adjustment, and then I opened it up to tighten the remaining bolts. So I was able to get plenty of adjustment with just the door hinges or the panels, but if you can't for some reason, you could loosen the striker bolts, which are a T40, and that'll give you a little bit more of an adjustment on the striker to possibly move your door a little bit more where you need it. You are going to have to remove the same hinge bolt as you did for the front door. Okay, on the back door you got 2 clips. So on the back doors, it didn't seem to matter which bolt I started first. I went ahead and put the 2 that came in the hardware kit, and then went ahead and started the factory hinge bolt back in. So once again, I closed the door and checked the adjustment before tightening them down. 2 of the 4 doors, I did not have to adjust the hinges on the Razor, and 2 of them I did. But overall, it is a really simple process and worked out well. Now I did have to readjust one of the doors and the panels when I got back after the first trip because it had shifted and was rubbing and catching on one of the door jambs. But besides that, we're pretty happy with it. It does keep debris from coming in the cab as much, and it did keep a little bit more of the dust out. So as far as that chatter on the doors, we did not notice it while trail riding, and we went over 100 miles with some pretty rocky trails. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Later.